President and members, thank you. You know, whenever I talk to folks who oppose the notion of a photo ID for voting, one of the first things to come out of their mouth is generally, everybody supports having an election system with integrity. Well, what could be a more important first step to the integrity of an election system than when I present to the poll to cast my vote, I simply have to demonstrate that I am the person I claim to be, that I am who I actually say I am. That is why we want a photo ID system, is so that people simply have to walk in to cast their vote and prove that they are who they say they are. It seems to me that that is absolutely at the root of electoral integrity, is to make sure that if you vote and you hold yourself out to be Dave Thompson, that you are. That's what this would accomplish. I'd also like to just address a few of the points made by Senator Sieben. As far as the budget deal goes, we were roundly criticized for setting early deadlines, for moving things quickly and getting the budget taken care of. I personally think that was a very good idea, because we've left plenty of time to get things done, but the fact of the matter is there are no budgets sitting in our committee waiting to be dealt with. They've all been put out of committee, they've all been voted on. We've done our job there, and that's why it's time to move on to some of the other important business of the state. Senator Sieben also talked about the need to be bipartisan. I think the fact is that if we were to listen to the people of Minnesota, this would be a bipartisan effort, because anecdotally, as well as looking at the data that I've seen, the vast majority of Minnesotans do support this common sense notion that, once again, when you show up to vote, you just demonstrate that you are who you purport to be. There's also a discussion about the fact that there's no need to do this because we don't have a lot of felons voting. That's not what this is an attempt to cause the problem. We're not trying to stop people from voting with this measure because of those kinds of things. What we're attempting to do is we are attempting to make sure that things like vouching for others doesn't result in fraud and those kinds of issues. So this isn't an attempt to address some of the things that many of the detractors say we're attempting to address. And finally, it is talked about the fact that voting is a right. Well, certainly voting is a right. We all acknowledge that not only is it a right, it is arguably the fundamental right that we as Americans have, because without input into the very political system that governs us, all of our other rights become meaningless. But there's two sides to this coin, folks. It is true that if there's a person out there who ends up not voting that should have been eligible to vote, that's unfortunate. But likewise, if somebody goes to the polls and votes for the candidates that I didn't vote for, and that person's voting illegally, I have been disenfranchised. So this argument works both ways. And in terms of this idea that this is the equivalent of a poll tax, the bill provides for a free ID. There's no charge. This is not a poll tax. This is simply a matter of people needing to demonstrate that they are who they say they are. It's a matter of common sense. The people support it, and I would encourage all of the members to support it.